they were able to take a round from Fearless Esports. So only 2 teams so far have been able to take a round, and that is both BSE and Boom Esports. And they are considered, obviously, the strongest team, Fearless Esports, right now, because they had such a solid group stage.
Yeah, speaking of solid as well, the foundation of the first pick of Nova coming in hot with the Arlie, with the first ban of the Yuan and the Dharma, following up with the Mai and the Dolia. We are looking at staple ones as well for Boom Esports, but the Diadea and the Gun and Mo, they return with this against an Arlie. So I think with the adjustment that they had and the loss that they did from the matches, I think they want to reserve that hero last pick for Azar too.
Yeah, I mean, giving over some props to the cosplayer in the crowd, a Diadea on the first game. So we have the cosplayer, we have the hero on the Gorge, so I feel like it's going to be good into the early, especially in terms of the mobilization. Pairing up the Ganon Mo as well, I always like this combo because you can kind of lock them in place and then give over the couple blades.
Yeah, I like the fact that Boom Esports picking up the Ganon Mo. It's the second most pick in the playoffs. It has a 71% win rate over 14 games. It has a lot of value. I mean, teams tend to play around it. They have a great strategy, and they back it up with a Diadea, so a nice little 1-2 punch there.
Yeah, seeing the value of the Gun and Mo nowadays, it's such a great counter or an aggressive resolution for the Zhangfei or even the Dun. That peel power has been a great advantage as well. So that kind of mix and match, right? In the face value-wise, their counters, depending. But there were some teams also managed to take down the Gun and Mo, having the Zhangfei on the other side, mainly because of the backline entry, how they want to penetrate defenses as well, ambush and backline plays. That's why they ban out the Liu Bang here from Nova and the Shangguan, which could be also a way to survive the mid lane. Good thing the Boom Esports got the Musashi too.
Yeah, I mean, we speak about the Gun and Mo being 71% win rate, right? But it kind of is a little bit of a green light for the side of Nova Esports, because they know now that the Angela's not going to come through, which is the anti-tank mage in the mid lane. So that gives the green light for the Zhangfei, gives the green light for Dude. So there's a way to get in onto this Ganon Mo, and the only way he has out is either from the help of the Diadea, the Musashi with the Duel at Death, kind of like taking him up to the sky for a second so he can then get out there with the Guard Her Grave. But I don't know how I feel about this, especially now that we have the Unruly Blade, we have the Unbridled Outburst, which we know is a classic counter to the Ganon Mo. We've seen time and time again within the group stages and playoffs that that's how they get into that hero.
I feel you, man. Like, we're looking at a straight-up facts here on how heroes here of Nova can actually be straight-up counter against Musashi and Gun and Mo. The first 3 picks here, it's all about invade. It's all about being in the front line. You have that way of extending team fights, but for such amount of time. But how being Boom Esports, you don't want to play with the Guan Yu and the Main as well. So with this kind of invade kind of thing, I think displacement and positioning in team fights, Boom Esports would really want to capitalize on that, since this is a lot of great crowd damage burst absorption from Nova Esports.
Yeah, I mean, that was going to literally be my next point, is I think Byron is going to be the setup here for Boom Esports, because again, he has the knockup, he has the force field suppression, gives over the shield to himself and his teammates. So I felt like this was the go-to for Miji, right? He can't have the Liu Bang, it's been banned out. The Charlotte would have been a little bit too aggressive in terms of having these 2 tanks on the side of Nova Esports. So I feel like the Byron, with his latest buffs, he can build tankier. He has a lot more fight in this in the team fights right now, and he can kind of just sustain himself, get Ganon Mo out of there, which is kind of like the prime objective for Boom Esports, I feel like, in this team comp.
Yeah, Byron's been picked 7 times already in the playoffs, 5-2, 71% win rate. So if anything, they've just done their research in terms of just picking high win rate heroes. I think that's a good start. But again, if we're looking at just data in general, sometimes you can throw that out the window, because in the group stage, some of those stats have completely changed, like the Dolia, but we haven't seen it in this draft thus far.
Yeah, I mean, they go for the Sunset, right? So onto the side of Nova Esports, they get the Sunset. They've got the Angela as well. So again, another green light of the Ganon Mo is that they don't ban it out on the side of Boom Esports. They go for the Shangguan instead, which I kind of don't think would have been a good pick anyway. We see a lot of Byron and Musashi trying to kind of cloud around. Same with the Diadea onto the Ganon Mo. So kind of dispersing that finishing stroke is less deadlier than the blazing brilliance that's going to come from Angela, especially onto the likes of the Musashi and the Byron.
Speaking of the likes of Boom Esports, the last pick, as expected, we're seeing now the Lady Sun being the last option here for Boom Esports. So comparing it to both of the drafts, Zhangfei against an Arlie, Okay, spacing would be a great advantage, but one thing also in the early game situation that you want to maintain space against your opponent is the Zhangfei and the Arlie combo. This will really push the idea to be in corners and also be in protection too for Azar to survive the early game. But this is like the contention here. How will they let Azar survive? But in most cases, some teams really want to find a kind of like a pressure point on teams nowadays. But we will see. How will the execution go? This is game number 1. It's Boom Esports versus Nova.
Yeah, we can kind of see it already in game 1 that Nova's kind of suspecting a little bit of a level 1 gank. As we saw, Sunset was just kind of trying to ward off the access into the Azure Golem. And I think that's a rightful call, right? We've seen a lot of these teams, when they're playing on kind of like the last button, they need a kind of Hail Mary play. Falcon Jess, they tried to do it twice. It didn't work out the way they wanted it to. So now we've got with the teams, I think, are going to be a little bit more careful about taking those level 1 invades.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, the first step on how to make this lineup work is always about the objective. We've seen teams also respect the fact that there's a lot of power spikes in teams right now in the early game that they need to respect, such as this. Waypit has a greater hold and frontline control against Baby the Idea. Although he gives out gold, it has its pros and cons, but one thing also, if you're an Arlie, this is like the way to go, right? You have a way to just push forward and be in tight spaces in situations like this.
Yeah, see Muji's taking a bit of kills there, taking a little bit of a blow, right? So nothing too much. We see that the rotation comes around from the mid lane, so Wendy was kind of waiting for that setup. If it was a little bit more successful on the side of Boom, I feel like Wendy would have gone in there, did the Chaos Cinder, slowed them down, but none of that was needed. Right now, a bit of a wave clear in the mid lane.
I'm kind of thinking, like, how will the lineup of Boom Esports work? Like, the last pick, Angela, is just so great to be in a disruptive burst output position against Diadea or even for Gun and Mo. So with this, they will really push them to be in a defensive state in team fights too. So we're looking at a faster rotation from mid to the top lane. So far, Boom Esports not letting go of possible objectives that can be spotted by Sai.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? They're going to go up here to get the teleportation mechanic as well, so if they need to kind of get back down to the further end of the map now that they're on the opposite side, they have the means to. And right now, you can see that Sunset is level 4, and he doesn't really need the teleport mechanic because he has the set sail. He can get to A to B quicker than any of the heroes on the Gorge in this game 1.
Okay, this would also put pressure, though. That's a flash.
Strike, taking a little bit of damage. He's going to get over the wall. No, he's going to be locked up. But Jizzix will get first blood with that duel of death.
I didn't think that was actually going to come into fruition, right? Like, that was a little bit too kind of like cut and paste. I thought Nova wouldn't have fell for that, but set sail.
On the backside, Chuan actually misses the boat. The Stampede Impressive gets back to safety. And again, Nova, they swing and they miss.
Yes, swinging and missing. I mean, that's going to be the end of it, the beginning of it, right? The part of the match where a lot of these blows are kind of just going to be testing the water. But the Blazing Brilliance does connect onto Azar, makes him recall, and it means that Arlie's going to be able to get priority into this wave, almost forcing Miki down there.
Well, speaking of forcing, right, I think Nova Esports would really find a way to shake things up again a little bit for Boom Esports. They know that they will really double time and not be in situations they can really overextend. You mentioned about the Sunset being having a great mobility, having both point A to point B. This would also check, like, will Suwon be the one to keep on pressuring the mid lane on where the Gun and Mo is? Because so far, Angela is just really keep on pushing the waves here, and we are just seeing how Dragon and RG6 is rotating as one by not giving any much of information of Nova as of now.
I mean, this is the beauty of the Angela pick, right? She can clear the waves very quickly, and then she can then go for a rotation. Kind of like the Ganamo, where I feel like Ganamo needs to give it a little bit more TLC. But as we can see here now that a lot of the players are going to be level 5, right? So the 1v1s up into Clash Lane are going to be a little bit more prominent. But for me, I feel like Byron would still take this 1v1 up into the Clash Lane any day of the week. But the neutral objectives are up right now. You can kind of see that Nova are pressuring towards the Tyrant. We see that Miki comes down with the teleport mechanic, but we do have the set sail come through, giving a lot of oppression into the back line.
He's going to take the Tyrant. They're going to walk away. He's going to smite that one out. The Umbrella Outburst is going to be a little off the mark, not really able to push him away, and it looks like Boom Esports coming out the pictures of that one.
It's just a space here that they were trying to maintain against Waypit. They know that the outburst could be a game-changing situation. Impressive and Azar as well working together. here, not being tanked as well. So this might also check. A set sail is open though.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to commit to it though. He's a little bit too behind enemy lines on the side of Boom Esports. He could have had a clear guard her grave straight into the T1, and it just would have kind of opened up Xuan into a gank from the Musashi. But right now, you can kind of see the goal difference is not much. It's very to and fro between Nova and Boom Esports at this 5-minute mark.
Yeah, I think they're just maintaining distance and not committing.
Mucci's doing some serious work. Azar actually has to limp away. They do have the heart link, so they will be fine. But Mucci, man, he's starting to do some damage.
Yeah, that's the kind of problem you don't want to get, right? I mean, the Doomsday comes through, so the basic attacks are definitely going to hit a little bit harder than it did at level 1, right? We have the physical defense boots coming through, because we know that Lady Sun can pack a punch also. So a nice little bit of defensive mechanism for Ali.
Yeah, a great peel as well. They really pushed the shark to go back to the base. And the recall and the reinforcement of Wendy being in that bush really bought some time rather, to get that bottom lane.
Oh, Umbrella uppers in the mid lane. It's going to be nice little stampede, two-man knockoff, impressive flashes. Not able to get away, but the set sail does connect as well. And Xuan says, I'm the captain now.
Yeah. As they get the 2 kills, they get the T1 into the mid lane as well. So very fruitful for the side of Nova Esports. Right now, Miggy might be coming in.
CY goes in with Xuan, try to get away. He's been knocked up and he's been controlled, and Agistix will get the kill. And it looks like Xuan down for about 15 more seconds.
See, I like the fact that they're able to come back with that kind of kill there from Boom, but it's that opening of the T1 in the mid lane that's so vital for the side of Nova to get in and kind of take away Musashi's resources.
Yeah, it's like opening a window here for a great of a resource out of Boom Esports. If we see the layer of the lineup of Nova right now, you have the set sail, you have the unruly bait, and you have Wavy 2 just being in the front line. This kind of control that they can keep on doing against Boom Esports could really set up traps and keep baiting them in their own drill, just as Blam said here.
Okay, in a bad spot. He's been dueled to death, the unbridled outburst, and here's the set sail. He brought a buddy. Impressive, taking a decent amount. He's in a bad spot, but he leaps to safety with the heart link. He's been chased away. CY trying to go for it, but Agistix is going to be killed on the backside. Mucci gets that kill.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of a casualty there for the side of Boom Esports, right? Taking down the Musashi. They still have the Overlord up as well. So Nova could literally rotate to this or go for the Clash lane, as we can kind of see Mucci going up here to try and get a bit of a macro play, trying to get a little bit more gold over to that late game.
It's looking for a solo, and Mucci does take the pick off, and Mucci's styling.
Oh, that is the 3rd kill for the Arlie, man. That's a win for Nova Esports. If you want to keep on getting those 3rd item in, this is the 2nd one. Shadow River was well present. Man, the damage really
all the Blazing Brilliance. Dragon just completely blown up. Wendy picking him off. And that's kind of what you need to be careful about. The Angela, a little immobile, but definitely when you have that combination, you can blow people up, and Dragon just going down.
Yeah, this is the beauty of Nova Esports though, right? They was able to claim the victory up into the top lane here, so we got to see that Miggy fell, and then they've opened up the T1 and not even stopped there. They're like, yo, let's keep going, divide and conquer.
Yeah, the only turret that has been taken is the top lane. Like, Boom Esports here is really struggling to push
oh, they're going CY, Unruly Blade, and he gets launched up, but impressive. Oh, barely able to limp away. Waypick gets killed in return. Azar gets the nice return kill. Nice hold by Boom Esports.
Yeah, the ultimate shell rolling through as well as the couple blades really knocked down Waypit on the side of Nova, really showing that level 9 Junk Fei is not an issue, right? When he's not a beast, he's not a problem.
Yeah, I think they need to be also a solution for their problem here, because the waves has been cleared by Xuan. It's been maintaining pressure down bottom too. So we're looking at problems here being set up by Boom Esports. Will it be the mid lane kind of pressure? Because the moment that they open it too sooner, they have troubles contesting these objectives. The only way that they have a way to see it through is either make a diversion play out of it, but so far the only thing that they can have right now by Boom Esports is the first Overlord. Kind of been a counter pressure on the pushes they did.
I mean, this is the kind of direct consequence of opening up that mid lane, right? So they are able to go into here, really cut them off, and really keep them guessing, right? It's kind of like what happened in the draft between Team Secret and Team Falcons. They had too much choice, and it became a over-incumbence for their team. And right now, there's so much room.
Oh my god, he got stopped. The recall is going to be there, and he's going to duel to death just to try to stay alive. He's not able to do so. And Agistix gets caught off with that forbidden domain. That wave pit was just thrown around.
Oh, this is scary. Like, how do you... The only way to put this is with the defenses that they have been taken away against Boom Esports. It's like you're being scared in your own house, right? You have no protection at all where they're coming from. There's no data. Nobody can commit to positions here that they will know against Nova Esports, because the only thing that they can do is probably be in defense even under close position in their own base.
Yeah, I think at this point now, they don't have the privilege of trying to overextend and claim back some of the ground, right? Some of their territory. They kind of have to play a really good defense, hopefully pick off a few of the side of Nova Esports, and then come out the shell. But right now, they are playing it like a tortoise's fortress. They have to poke their head in, they have to bring all their limbs in before another one gets chopped off.
Yeah, they're really struggling to pull this off. Like, with the lead, it's not a bit of too far yet to come back from, but I think you just need to make a play here. Like, it's just so hard, and Waypit maintaining this position at most cases really gives a lot of point and pressure. Are they taking 2 objectives at the same time here? Oh, yeah. Denying that primal bond. And 2 objectives completely taken by Nova Esports.
Yeah, this is the true definition of kind of taking everything for yourself. And right now, they weren't able to get that Azure Golem, but that just would have been a bit of a Brucey bonus for the side of Nova Esports. But they, like you said, the OSX, they were able to get the both neutral objectives and cancel out that debuff as well within the jungle, right? So now that they're able to have the Shadow Overlord, they have the Shadow Tyrant, I think this is the point where we're going to see a concise team fight from Nova.
Yeah, I want to go back to your question in the state of their life. Like, how will they commit to this? They're not really going out of the shell just yet, and it's just a big of a sacrifice if they do, because another turret has been taken. They're left at 3. The high ground turret's left for Boom Esports, and that's the thing that they can do right now. They can really commit to anything because nobody can be up front in the case that Nova has been made early game.
Yeah, I mean, you can say here, Muji going in right. I mean, that's going to be the start. That's going to bait some of the skills. It takes this at the higher ground turret, and here, that's all they need to do is just keep baiting.
This is hard. Like, they just keep on baiting. They really want to find an opening, and they're just waiting for this thing to happen. Like, Zuan is also equalizing the lane up top. Dragon as well. Oh no, this is not looking good for Boom Esports.
I mean, the good thing about Wendy here, he's really exhausted the means of getting out of there for Dragon. Like we saw the guard her grave come through just to kind of get rid of the Chaos Cinders, make sure that they weren't connecting and slowing down. But Moochie's actually get caught out there with a bit of advance.
Agistics, he dashes away with the extreme speed. He's gonna be fine. They do have the Vanguard. They're gonna look to be just going into this one. But Miggy on the backside, nice Storm Strike, but not enough. Juana's gonna be killed. That's 1 kill thus far. Boom Esports want to collect more. They go for CY. And they looking to do it, but CY does go down. Miggy has the damage. They're continuing on. They have the freshly reforged blades, and they're going to go in. The Stampede back from Waypit, just trying to stay alive. He turns back to a man. Agistics thought about going in. He's going to be a little low, but they go right back in, and Muji is starting to do some work, but he does die in return. Azar has that damage. Azar getting blown up by the Blazing Brilliance. He's going to be killed. Wendy does get that pick off.
This is the problem, right? So they were able to have a fantastic, they came out the tortoise shell, they were able to clap back and do a little bit of a spinneroo, but it's this pressure in the farm lane that's already been opened up. It had them all second guessing. They were very much orientated by the Azure Golem camp, right? So Nova Esports knew that they had to either go here or go into that road, basically that territory, to take the team fight. The set the cell comes through.
Oh, the wind slash. I mean, he just got completely destroyed. Impressive. And that was just a single boat knocking him out. They take the mid T3.
Oh my goodness. The pressure from the bottom lane alone, coming from the set sail from Suwon, it's too much, right? Like, Boom Esports really needs to focus on which lane or which hero to target here. They had the upper hand there by the overextension of Nova Esports, but good thing Wendy, he was being careful on where to position, and those Chaos Cinders and the Blazing Brilliance really bought time and kills as well for Nova while they wait to respawn. But Boom Esports, again, going back to this replay, this was the moment that they were trying to get away.
Yeah, you can kind of see, like I said here, right? There was very much around this kind of area of the Azure Golem. So if they were able to get like an advantage, they could cut off this minion wave here as well. But no advantage was given. They were able to take quite a few of the kills, but I think it's a little bit too late at this point. It would take more of another team fight like that at the high ground turret, but also to have clarity in this lane. And right now, clarity is a bit of a privilege that they don't have.
I think if I would really want to take a word here from Suwon or from the Sutton, the anchor here is just being placed into the bottom lane and the mid lane. It's becoming a problem here, and another enhanced Shadow Overlord could still be in a push against Boom Esports with this kind of situation that they're in. They really want to wait for a mistake for Nova to commit, but so far they're just completely being confident and aggressive. Primal Bond, no problem. Take another objective, adding it to the damage and push as well. Nova, with all means, they would really take this away.
But look at how Wave Pit is all the way up in front. He's providing that vision and sees if they're going to potentially contest, and he's so far front, they actually don't need his damage. Nova Esports, again, take both of the big objectives yet again.
Yeah, I mean, not only does now Muji have the Shadow Tyrant, he has the Daybreaker, he's got Sun Chaser as well, so he can have extended rage into the backline, right? So he can Paracel in, he can use the Sun Chaser, he can get onto the Ganon Mo a lot quicker than before. Able to take the Hydro
Setzel, they
Turret.
go right in with the Blazing Brilliance, the nice little wombo combo, but Miggy survives. He's going to back off. The base is wide open. CY still up in front. Logistics on the backside with a nice duel to the death, but he's going to be killed. CY's going to take credit. Miggy just trying to deal with his Vanguard at this point, but again, Boom Esports hold, but they're down a member.
The lineup of Nova Esports right now is really showing on how to counter this Ganon Maul, despite the Lady Sun being with them. Damage and peel is there, yes, but nobody can be up front here of Boom Esports.
Oh, Muchi straight up in front. Miggy looking to fight, but he doesn't have the force field suppression, but he's going to get blown up. The Setzel locking it down. They've got the double kill onto Azar, and Impressive has to whimper back into his fountain, and it looks like Nova Esports are going to look to take this as a matter of time as the minion rolls on through. Impressive, all he can do is watch. And it looks like they will take game one.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of see the side of Boom Esports there. They were watching from their defeated docking station at Bay, and they were just waiting for the armada that was Nova Esports to collapse on that game one victory. And it was very clear, concise. The early game, the mid game, yes, we got the claiming of the territories and stuff like that. But then I really feel like that if Boom Esports